Well, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, that's great. Thank you, Emmy.
Well, as everyone, I'm 19, and I was diagnosed with BBS when I was 6 years old, and I've just finished my A levels now at school, which is very strange, and especially with the pandemic that we've had. But when I was first diagnosed, the professionals weren't too helpful because they basically looked mostly at the weight gain and stuff, and they didn't really associate any of it with the vision until kind of when I went to primary school and started like in reception year 1, reading and writing and taking the vision test, that they then realised there was something actually wrong with the vision. And then obviously, like I said, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 6 years old. And because there was so much negative at that point, we tried to focus on something more positive, because that's how my family are, because I have such a supportive family and we always try and look at the positives or everything. And we always say that we look at things in a different way. So so good. And then I went to primary school in a mainstream, where I had some support from the VI team, which are now the sensory team. Starting in year 2, and then in year 3, I was taught cane skills and how to touch type, which was then really important throughout the rest of my years in mainstream school, because that's how I take all my notes. Then through that school, I was part of the choir from like year 1 to year 6, because one of the things I love, it always makes it really, what always like cheers me up if I'm on a down day with a vision, is singing away to any particular song. It doesn't matter, just singing away. And I was part of like chess club. I was even part of the year 6 drama production, where I was able to be a narrator, because they did the script in like my really big font. I was able to be part of that. And then once I finished at primary school, I then went to the secondary school, still mainstream. And when I was shown round, we realised that it was a really good school, because it was really light and bright, and the person who showed me around kind of showed me around more so than mum and dad. So from the get-go, I said to mum that was where I really wanted to go. And like I said, the support's been so brilliant, and I was able to do so many music clubs there. Part of like 3 choirs, loads percussion ensemble. I even did the tenor challenge, which is like the Young Enterprise Challenge. They adapted the Duke of Edinburgh Award, so I was part of the very first adapted Duke of Edinburgh Award experience they did at the school, where they went on the route first to make sure it was okay and all flat, and make sure there weren't too many obstacles, so that I could still have the same experience as everyone else and still be able to achieve that. Then I had a few issues with my GCSE year, so I didn't quite get the grades that I needed. So I had to stay back a year for a retake year. And at first I was so disappointed in myself at first. But then once I started that retake year, I really enjoyed the extra kind of subjects that I did, like the level 2 health and social care and the level 2 finance, as well as like retake science and maths and English. And in the end, I was really pleased with the set of results that I got, because I managed to go up about 4 like grade levels in that year. And I actually asked them to double check my results, just to make sure they'd give me the right set of results on that day I got the retake results. And that was the first time I actually cried just relief and just happiness that was what I ended up getting. And then with the school, I was able to go to New York as a trip with the school during that at the end of that retake year. So I shared a room with my best friends, and we went to see Wicked on Broadway, which was amazing. but we had to pay a bit extra for the trip, so because the travel company wouldn't move the seats for it because the ones that the school had got were too far back. So we did it for me and my LSA, and we ended up being front row. And it's the one show that I remember seeing every single little detail in, which obviously is quite a rare thing with obviously the vision side of things. And this LSA who was with me, she's been so good throughout my years at school. She's part of the reason why I've been able to do so many activities and clubs with the school. And actually, we've developed such a trust that when I told her that I trust her as much as I trust Mum, and then that made me and Mum both confident enough for being able to go and have a great time on that trip. Then I also then obviously I did my 2 A levels where I did level 3 health and social care and BTEC applied science, which I've just finished. And during that, I was able to teach another student at my school who had a visual impairment. I got to teach her Braille, which was a brilliant experience. It really helped develop my kind of patience and my confidence in something that I was able to do. But also it just felt so positive and so empowering. And it was always my favourite day of the week was the day where I had my lesson where I taught her Braille. Because I've been learning it since I was like year 7. So when she came to school in year 7, I was year 12. So I'm so pleased that was something I was able to do. It was a great experience. And then recently also we've been discovered and I've been able to do trips with the Victor charity. So I did my first one to the Royal National College in Hereford, which we did many activities that kind of tested what my capabilities, what I was able to do. Like we played goalball and we did some other kind of climbing stuff. But I met a group of other young people who were vision impaired or blind. And I actually, in most of the trips I've done with them, I was actually one of the ones with the most amount of vision. So the freaky thing is in those trips I've done is they asked me to guide and help other people, which obviously there's one aspect of it on one of the trips where it was getting dark, and because I'm night blind, I couldn't see a huge amount anyway. So I had my guide cane and couldn't see a huge amount, and I was guiding someone else who was blind. So that was very interesting and very scary. And then so I did that trip as well as a Spanish exchange trip with them for 10 days, where I was able to again really push my limits of what I was able to do and really surprise myself in what I was able to achieve. Because I rode a camel, which is the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life, and probably something I'm never going to do again. I screamed the entire way around, and it was just very scary. And I did one trip with them to Belgium, and I did one that was a weekend in London. So all of them have been quite different. And I was supposed to do a trip with them this year, but last year, but obviously because of the pandemic, that was cancelled, which was a shame because that was to go and see some of the Paralympics. So I was really looking forward to that, but unfortunately it was cancelled because of the pandemic. And also I've done I've been able to be part of the RDA throughout, since I was 6. Because I said we tried to find something positive to do after me being diagnosed. So we found the Riding for Disabled. And I've had so many friends through that. And there's just a feeling of when you're on a horse and it doesn't matter whether you can see or not, as long as you it just felt so amazing to be up there. And actually I haven't done it since I was about probably 15, 16. And I really miss it. I'd love to do it again because it was such an incredible feeling. And then I've also been able to do many volunteering opportunities at both at school and outside of school. So I volunteered with a garden club for people who are disabled, which I used to attend after I went riding. Then I also done volunteered with the lab technicians at school, and I assisted the LSAs and got to help someone else take notes in lessons, which like made me kind of appreciate what kind of things the LSAs actually had to do for me when they were supporting me. And also I'd got to volunteer and help with teaching Braille, and hopefully I can do some more kind of volunteer opportunities in the future. Because I finished my A-levels. Next year I'm going to hopefully go to Morton College to do food science and nutrition, and hopefully that will lead on to loads more exciting opportunities. And also during the summer now, after finishing, hopefully I can, like I said, do more opportunities for volunteering. And also the positives that have come out of the few positives that come out of the lockdown is the fact that I've been able to start my YouTube channel, Emmy's VIP Life, which is where I kind of explain or discuss like loads of different things linked to what it's like with the vision impairment. So I've done 9 videos now, and it's just so nice to hear when people just leave really positive comments. It makes it feel like I'm actually doing something that's hopefully helping people, and hopefully, like I said, it makes people smile, because there's quite a few videos that I've done, especially the one talking about like my 18th birthday during the lockdown, that I was so many happy memories while recording it. And obviously I've been to quite a lot of the conferences. I think I've done about 11 now, 10 or 11, and there's so many great people there that I've met, and that have just, some of the people in the young people's group I've really formed a connection with and really made me smile. And every time I see them, we have a good laugh, and it's really lovely that there's other people who have experienced the same things, and you can obviously make a really good connection with them. Obviously, a big part of the condition for quite a few people is the weight side of things. So I also had that as well, and like in year 10, I kind of got to quite a bad point with that. So we got a we got a treadmill here and some other gym equipment, and I started doing that, and it was really tough going at first. I hated it at first, but it really improved my well-being, and my levels of like when I was happy and stuff. Because if I got a really good tune on music when I was doing it, I ended up really liking it after a while. And obviously it helped with my sleeping and how I felt in myself, and also obviously with the health side of things as well. So there's lots of, so the main thing is that there's lots of positive things that we've been able to do despite having the condition. And I said, hopefully, obviously next year we can all meet up again and have the great experiences like that we normally do every year, by sharing what we've been able to do with each other. So yeah, so thank you for listening, and yeah.
Emmy, that was absolutely fantastic. What an inspiration you are for those growing up with BBS and their parents. There's a couple of people have said, can you say again, what's the name of your blog? You've got some more subscribers they need to know.
It's Emmy's VIP Life. So that's VIP Life. So the VIP bit stands for visually impaired person.
And we're going to make sure that we have the links directly to those blogs on the BBS UK website. They are amazing. Thank you so much for that, Emmy.